Case number 3066, Whitley versus Fort Meade. All parties, please come forward.
Diamond Whitley is suing her ex-boyfriend, Gavin Forney, for a car down payment and an assault.
Miss Whitley, you and the defendant were involved in a relationship for a period of time. It is your claim that you loaned him money for a down payment on a car, and you're no longer a couple. You want the money back that you put down on the car.
Yeah.
And then you have an allegation of assault that he allegedly committed about a year ago. So you'll tell me about what happened, because I assume that that was the end of your relationship.
Yes.
Okay.
Diamond Whitley claims her ex-boyfriend, Gavin Forney, owes for a car down payment and says Gavin assaulted her during a fight.
Now, did you live together?
Briefly.
From when to when?
From March 2022 to April of 2022, when the assault happened.
Okay. During what part of what month did you loan him money for a down payment on a car?
It was March 22nd, 2022.
Tell me the circumstances surrounding making that loan.
So we were using one car, my car, and
For how long? For a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
I don't remember exactly
How long?
the amount of time.
Were you using the same car, sir?
About 4 months.
How long did you live together? She said you lived together for 2 months.
We lived together for 2 months, but she was staying with me at my brother's house prior to me moving into her place.
And sharing one car.
Yes, ma'am.
Whose car?
Her car.
You didn't have a car.
No, ma'am.
And then you moved in together and you got a car.
Yes, ma'am.
How much was the down payment on the car?
Roughly $4 grand.
Who put down the down payment?
She put a portion of the down payment.
What portion?
$3 grand?
Now you have the car.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you're no longer a couple.
No, ma'am.
And what about the down payment?
She verbally told me that I could keep the down payment.
Tell me when she told you that you could keep the down payment.
After I moved out.
Okay, so before you moved out, when you were living together, sleeping together, eating together, vacationing together, then you knew it was a loan.
Yes, ma'am.
After you moved out and are no longer living together, sleeping together, dining together, vacationing together, then she said, forget about it, you don't owe me any money?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that.
I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was saying that she didn't want any more problems between us and that I could keep the $3,000 for the down payment.
Did she say that over the phone?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about the phone call. Who called whom?
I believe I called her.
What did you call her for?
Because at the time I had her on my insurance. And when we got in the relationship, she got in a car accident. So after the relationship, I didn't want to keep her on the insurance just in case she would get in another car accident. So we were talking about that. And then I did tell her that I was taking her off the insurance, and it was supposed to be that. And then we got in a big argument, and she basically told me that I can keep the $3,000 for the down payment.
That sounds ridiculous. You mean you got into it while you were canoodling together, you realized it was a loan. Then you got into big arguments. You were taking her off the insurance. You were on the phone with her, and she just said you can keep the $3,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, if she said it, she didn't mean it, because you're here. And originally, you knew it was a loan, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's your car. It's now in your name?
Yes, ma'am.
A loan?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Okay. Miss Whitley, you want to tell me about this assault, when it happened?
Yes.
Because I see that some of the facts have changed a little bit.
There's a little confusion about specific details, but what happened is on the night/morning of April 14th to April 15th, we had gotten into an argument because of infidelity reasons. And I had told him that I did not want to sleep in the same room or same bed as him. And he wasn't very fond of that idea. So he got mad and went out to his car. I thought that he was going to be gone the whole entire night. He wasn't. He came back in and he tried to sleep in the bed with me. I still did not want to sleep in the same bed as him. So I got up, I went to the living room. He followed behind me, was demanding that I go back into the room, go back into the room. I said, no, no, no. He got very mad. I was standing up, pushed me onto the couch, put his hands over my mouth and nose. I couldn't breathe for about 30 to 40 seconds. He let go and he told me, "Are you going to get back into the room now?" I said, "Yes, I'm going to go back into the room." Instead, I ran out the door to my car. I didn't have my glasses. I didn't have anything but my keys. And I drove to the security post at my apartment complex, and they dispatched police for me. But by the time the police came, he had already been out of my home in his car, off somewhere else.
So, not excusing anybody putting their hands on anybody else for anything other than fondness. What he did was put his hands over your nose and your mouth like this for about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
It was with the intent of having me not breathe.
Okay. Anything else? No. Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. We're finished. Thank you.
This court is adjourned.
It was basically just over the $3,000 for the down payment of the car.
You look in the phone and you find the messages and it speaks for themselves.
She told me I could keep it, and she didn't, basically now it shows that I'm not supposed to keep it, so I definitely understand.
You can't really refute evidence like that, so
Time to part ways.
don't loan money.
I think you hit the nail on the head out there with when you were living together and would sort of be under the impression that it was a gift because it's your loved one and you're in this healthy, happy relationship and you gave me money for a car and now we don't have to share a car. I could see how that would be a gift, but he seemed to have seen it in reverse, that once he moved out and the relationship, degraded, at that point it was a gift. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah, I didn't go through the spiel. I've been through it so many times. Don't co-sign a loan for anybody. Not a child, not a mate, but they lived together for 2 months.
Yeah.
2 months.
$3,000 is a lot for a 2-month, trial.
Yeah, this is a working lady. It's hard to put together $3,000.
Well, I'm glad she got it back.
Me too. Furniture.
Yes, ma'am.
He did move stuff for you.
Sure.
That's not sure. We're not in a playground. The answer is yes.
Well, we were promised money constantly.
Listen, the doctor promised my mother that I'd be 5'6". You know how successful that was?
This is Judy Justice. Joseph Kendrew is suing his former boss, Natasha Sanderson, for unpaid wages and business expenses.
All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Judge, case 3157, Kendrew versus Sanderson.
Thank you. Ms. Sanderson, you own a staging business. Now, I know what that is. I'm not sure if everybody else knows what that is. Let me make it simple and tell me if I'm mistaken. You have a property that you want to sell that is either unfurnished or has furniture that's not great. Somebody hires your company. You have rental places where you go to fill up that house, office, whatever, to make it as good-looking as possible in order to have somebody either rent it or buy it.
Yes.
And you're paid for your service. It's a staging business. Did I get that close?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. How long have you had the staging business?
Almost 4 years.
Do you have any employees?
I do not have employees. I have independent contractors.
Well, when you say you have independent contractors, Ms. Sanderson, I'm an old person. And I know why people have independent contractors rather than having employees. Of course, that means they can pay him in cash, they can pay him in wampum, they can pay him in lira, they can pay him in whatever. Sometimes they 1099 him and sometimes they don't. These people who are independent contractors, what do they do for you?
Whenever we get hired for a job,
Who's a we?
my company. Whenever my company is contracted for a
you're,
job.
just a second. You're your company, according to you.
Yes.
Period. So whenever you get hired to do a job and you protect yourself by being incorporated, I assume you are
Yes.
incorporated. I know what staging companies do. What I want to know is what your independent contractors do for you.
They move furniture for me. They're glorified movers.
Are they companies or are they individuals?
Sometimes companies, sometimes individuals that we hire.
Who's the we
Me.
that you hire? Sometimes individuals. You see this gentleman over here, sitting over here in the black shirt?
I do.
Do you know him?
I do.
Who is he?
That's Justin Bakage.
And what does Justin do for you?
Justin no longer works with me.
What did he do for you?
He was an independent contractor that moved
Just a
furniture.
second. Just a second. He was an independent contractor. Did he have a company? Look at me. Did he have a company?
No, not to my knowledge.
How did you pay him?
My company paid him via Venmo or
In
PayPal
cash?
or
In
Cash App.
in cash, not a check.
Not a check, but sources that can be tracked by tax purposes.
Very good. And since he did not have a company and worked for you, did you 1099 him?
I attempted to.
Just a second. Did you 1099 him or did you not 1099 him?
I did not.
And how many years or months did you do moving for the defendant?
Started in end of May.
I like when people stand up when they talk to me. It makes me more comfortable.
Yeah, me too. I started like the end of May.
Of what
End of
year?
May of 2023, and then was done at the end of November.
How much were you paid?
$25 an hour.
Venmo or...
Yeah, however she could pay me. Like it would be sporadic.
Now, the time has long passed for 1099s. Did you receive a 1099 from Miss Sanderson? And how much money did she pay you in total from May through November?
Like I said, sporadic, because I would send her my hours, and depends. Sometimes she would send me like 2 cash apps of $500 each, or a cash app of, maybe 1,000, something like that, or even smaller amounts. So like probably total, I don't know, probably around maybe 2,000-3,000, maybe.
Did she have anyone else moving for her
Yes. Joe.
other than him?
She did sometimes have a couple that would work for her. I never met them.
Do they still do work for you?
He does.
What does he do?
He's an independent contractor. He does moving.
And I assume you paid him the same way as you paid this gentleman.
Yes.
Did you 1099 them?
Yes.
How much did you say they earned last year?
One earned, I think, $9,500, and the other one earned, I think, $4,500, thereabouts. I'd have to go back and look.
Did you 1099 anyone else?
I attempted to contact Justin, and he did not return any phone calls, emails, or messages.
Well, when you hired him, you're supposed to get his information, social security number, address, etc.
Yes, he was collecting unemployment.
Justin was working for her not a lot. Maybe he earned $2,000 or $3,000. That is what you told me, right?
I worked a lot more than that.
Well, then that makes you an idiot. You want to fess up to being an idiot?
Joseph Kendrew is accusing his former boss, Natasha Sanderson, of owing for unpaid wages and business expenses.
Now, did you 1099 anyone else?
I attempted to contact Justin, and he did not return any phone calls, emails, or messages.
Well, when you hired him, you're supposed to get his information, social security number, address, etc.
Yes, he was collecting unemployment. So he was working for me while collecting unemployment.
And you?
Oh, well,
Just a second. I'm just asking you.
Anyway.
That's something that you knew.
Yes.
Okay. And that's the reason why you didn't 1099 him.
No, I did attempt to 1099 him.
Well, why would
but
you
I didn't-
attempt to 1099 him, Miss Sanderson? I haven't started on you yet.
I didn't
Why
have
would you
his social
attempt to
security
1099 him if you already knew that he was collecting unemployment and one of the conditions of his employment was he was going to get paid in cash unreported? I mean, that was the agreement. You're a smart gal. I can tell you're a business person, so you're a smart gal. You understood that. Okie dokie. Good. Now, Mr. Kendrew,
Yes.
how old are you?
39 years old.
What do you do for a living?
A financial consultant.
What training do you have to be a financial consultant?
I have a SEMA analyst designation. I work
A what? Slowly, because Sarah doesn't take shorthand.
Yeah.
She's a professional. She's a lawyer. Lawyers don't know how to do important things like take shorthand or type or anything else like that. So don't try to confuse Sarah. That would be hard for you. You have a what in the who?
Your Honor, I went to college.
You went to college?
Yes, ma'am.
That was a long time ago.
That was a very long time ago.
Yes. And what was your major?
Finance.
Did you graduate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you have a degree,
Yes,
a
ma'am.
bachelor's degree with a major in finance.
Yes, ma'am.
Other than that?
Secondary education.
Like what?
It is a analyst designation.
For whom?
I started at Merrill Lynch and worked on Wall Street for 10 years. And since then,
Shh, just a second. Merrill Lynch for 10 years. Well, that's a start. How did you end up moving furniture?
well,
Just think about what you're going to say to me now. You have family? Do you have family?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you have friends?
Yes.
Okay. So think of what you're going to say to me. You worked for Merrill Lynch for 10 years, you could say, as an analyst.
Yeah.
And then what?
And I moved to St. Pete approximately 2 years ago.
From where?
From Cleveland, Ohio. And
Why?
I was ready for a new start. COVID had just happened, and I was living in a residential neighborhood. St. Petersburg offered a lot of things that Cleveland didn't, and I was ready for a new beginning.
You mean St. Petersburg, Florida?
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of things, including better weather.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a job there when you moved?
No,
Who did you move in with?
I live by myself.
Living off savings, I assume.
Some savings, and I did some independent financial consulting for a company that was located in Cincinnati.
How did you get into furniture moving and staging?
I had met the gentleman, Justin Bakich, and there was another gentleman who was also moving furniture for Natasha that wasn't mentioned.
You know that person?
Yes.
Yeah, did he move furniture for you?
Twice or 3 times, maybe?
Well, then the answer is yes. How did you pay him?
Same way. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal.
Go ahead.
So I met these gentlemen, and as I mentioned, I'm single, and they had an opportunity, weekends working part-time, and I just said, I'm gonna do this as an extra source of income, to have good habits, and to take advantage of the opportunity to start working with them.
That doesn't tell me how you met her. That tells me how you met him.
Justin was working for her. He called me up, said he had an opportunity.
Justin was working for her not a lot, according to Justin. According to Justin, he was working for her a little bit. Maybe he earned $2,000 or $3,000. That is what you told me, right? So he wasn't working.
That's what he was paid.
Just a shit.
That's what I was. You said I was paid. I was paid. I worked a lot more than that.
Well, then that makes you an idiot. You want to fess up to being an idiot?
No. It's a lot more complicated than that, but yes.
I think that you are. I heard you, so you're not an idiot.
Right.
And unless there's some other favors going on around here, you work for $2,000 or $3,000.
Well, we were promised money constantly.
Listen, the doctor promised my mother that I'd be 5'6". You know how successful that was? And you don't look like the kind of man that works off promises. Put your hand down. I don't need you. You're suing her for $8,000. You say she failed to pay you money that you actually worked for, moving furniture, so you actually worked a lot more than he did, because he only worked $2,000, $3,000 worth. You moved stuff for her and paid bills for her over $8,000. That's what you said right here.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. I better get an honest answer from you, because you understand this will not be good for you if you don't.
Absolutely.
He did move stuff for you.
Yes.
Yes. And he moved for you, you know, this other person, whoever he was that only worked a little bit. He moved things for you at the same time that Justin moved things for you, or at different times?
Different times.
And how would you reach him?
Text messages.
Do you have some?
I do.
I'd like to take a look at them. I know what this is. I'm at Coolidge. Pics are in 4 minutes, then I need to go home and sleep, or at least shower before we unload Brandon. Who wrote that?
That was likely me. That was likely me.
I need to go home and sleep, or at least shower before we unload Brandon. Now that you're sending to him. There. Is a yes.
Yes.
I mean, I'm a simple girl. You know, I'm a country girl. Simple. But if you, who look like a big, strong, strapping guy who gets a chance to work out and be in the sun, and your buddy, who you met, said, come with me, we're going to move furniture, and he only worked with you, and you took, at most, $3,000, I'm trying to figure out where the $8,000 comes from.
Joseph Kendrew is accusing his former boss, Natasha Sanderson, of owing for unpaid wages and business expenses.
Okay, I need to go home and sleep or at least shower before we unload Brandon. Now that you're sending to him. Mm-hmm. There. Is a yes.
Yes.
And he says you need sleep. I'm searching for help to unload the truck. And then you send him a number.
Yes.
I just texted her. And then you write an address. He says, got it. And then you say to him, don't forget the stuff in the garage, please. There's a warehouse and then there's a place, Brandon. So clearly, in July, he's doing things for you.
Yes.
Do you pay him?
Yes.
How much?
I believe that's also there with you.
Okay.
All the payments are there.
Well, let's see. Also, furnishing, nothing broke. I don't. Sending out those invoices, collect that money. Here's my hours for the last month to yesterday, 87.5 hours. And then you say, break them down for me, please, right? And he does. He breaks them down for you. You get 91 hours, not included the hours calling, reaching out to realtors, social media. I do that on my own. And then you send him $1,800. Is that right?
Correct.
You don't tell me in your complaint that she sent you $1,800.
I would love a 1099 for that, Your Honor, because I never got that money. And that's not to me.
Your Honor, that's me. She's texting me that. See, I worked as many hours as she did. Oh, sorry. Yeah. That's not.
Just stand up. Are these
those are my text messages. Yeah.
These are your text messages.
So all the hours he worked, I was working with him the same time because I was driving the truck every time. So all the hours he worked, I worked. She would pay me sparingly because I didn't have any other, I had some hardships with my job before. Sorry. So I needed to get paid for rent and stuff like that.
You said that she paid you for your work.
Yes.
$2,000 to $3,000. Just a second.
Yeah.
That's what you say to me. You don't look like a foolish man. You're not suing her for any more money.
Nope.
Right. Your friend, who you say worked with you, your friend, that's him, worked with you. That's what he did. He was on the truck with you.
Yes.
He's suing her for $8,000.
Yes. He didn't get paid a cent.
Well, just a minute. But you only got paid $2,000 to $3,000, and you said he worked with you. He's suing her for $8,000.
Well, so you 2 or 3. So I had the same hours as him.
Just a second.
No, go ahead.
I'm talking about what you told me. You told me that you made between $2,000 and $3,000. And that's what you told me. You made between $2,000 and $3,000. That was his job. You drove. He rode on the truck with you. As far as you know, did he ride on a truck with anyone else?
No.
So that at most, just pay attention to me. So that at most, if she paid you $2,000 to $3,000 by the hour, she would owe him $2,000 to $3,000 for working with you. Don't anyone else speak but you.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a simple girl. You know, I'm a country girl. Simple. But if you, who look like a big, strong, strapping guy who gets a chance to work out and be in the sun, accepted $2,000 to $3,000 for the work that you did, and your buddy, who you met, said, come with me, we're going to move furniture, and he only worked with you, and you took, at most, $3,000. I'm trying to figure out where the $8,000 comes from.
Very simple. Well, so I would always text her, I need the money for rent, because I needed it. So she would send me, like I said, she was cash at me, a couple cash apps of $500, 200, something like that, so I could pay rent. She would not cash app him. Now, he actually put money into the business. He would pay some people, do stuff like that.
Oh, well, I have to see that.
We had that. He actually one time paid me $1,000 for the work I did. I thought it was from her, but it was actually his own pocket.
Well, then he's ridiculous.
He's a good friend.
Just a second. He's not a good friend of hers. He just
No,
met
a friend
her.
of mine.
He just met her. And if you did work for which you didn't get paid, then I'm sorry, sir, that makes you an idiot. Unless there's something else that's going on here that I don't understand, which is all very possible. Because if I wasn't getting paid, I wouldn't work anymore.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but we were promised a lot. Like, we were promised that one house had a lien on it for like $15,000, so money was going to come in. That never happened.
I just continued to work.
And we did an Airbnb, him and I together, and we didn't get paid for that. I mean, we heard that she was paying these other two couple $2,500, and we got mad, and we left one of the sites. We were mad because we weren't getting paid.
Good idea.
Mm-hmm. So we stopped. That's why we stopped working, because we weren't getting paid.
Great. Okay. Now you can sit.
Thank you.
So the next part of your claim, other than for these hours that you didn't get paid, and by the way, you have proof that you sent him this money and not Justin? Do you have proof that you sent the plaintiff this money through Cash App and not, your name is Justin, right?
Yes.
Not Justin.
No, I sent to Justin, not to Joseph.
You sent it to Justin?
Yes.
Well, then what did you show this to me for?
Because it shows where Justin brought Joseph to work for the first time. Not me asking for anybody to come to work. It was Justin was to come to work, and he brought his friend to work.
And?
I wasn't there. I went home to take a shower and go to bed.
How many times did he bring his friend to work?
Several.
Several. You have any communications with the plaintiff by text message? Is he going to be able to show me any text messages from you?
Sure. There ended up being a group message.
Right. So that you knew he was working with him on your behalf.
Sure.
That's not sure. We're not in a playground. The answer is yes.
Yes.
The answer is yes. And it would be fair to say, based upon this that you showed me, that has nothing to do with the plaintiff, that you paid him nothing.
Well, he was helping Justin.
I never...
Excuse me?
Sorry.
That's a question. Would it be a fair statement that you paid the plaintiff nothing?
Yes, correct. I didn't hire him.
Do you know that I don't believe you?
Than just me. There's other people that were relying on her.
You knew he was working.
He never worked for me.
I don't believe you.
I'm telling the truth, Your Honor.
A little bit slippery. I think you're slick.
This is Judy Justice. Previously on Judy Justice.
You're suing her for $8,000. You say she failed to pay you money that you actually worked for, moving furniture. Clearly, in July, he's doing things for you.
Yes.
Do you pay him?
Yes.
According to Justin, he was working for a little bit. Maybe he earned $2,000 or $3,000. That is what you told me, right?
I worked a lot more than that.
Well, then that makes you an idiot. Because if I wasn't getting paid, I wouldn't work anymore.
He actually one time paid me $1,000 for the work I did.
Then he's ridiculous. If you did work for which you didn't get paid, then I'm sorry, sir, that makes you an idiot. Unless there's something else that's going on here that I don't understand, which is all very possible. Would it be a fair statement that you paid the plaintiff nothing?
Yes, correct. I didn't hire him.
And now, the conclusion. Joseph Kendrew is suing his former boss, Natasha Sanderson, for unpaid wages and business expenses.
Now, do you have any text messages as it relates to the work you did?
Fortunately, we were getting 75 to 100 messages a day. I do have plenty of other evidence that supports it, but I didn't
Like
that.
what?
Starting with my hours broken down.
No,
by
I don't want to see your hours. Sorry, that's not happening.
She had us go and take a group photo, pictures, and I was on the website. So for somebody that didn't want to hire me.
Just a second. You have a website? Is there a website? Give Sarah the name of the website.
If Justin could look it up, or I could find it on my phone.
Find it on your phone. I want to see that on your phone.
Okay.
I want Sarah to look it up.
Okay. Hey, and we also have.
No,
photos.
that's what I want right now.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know that I have it readily available at this second, but I have it.
If I have it readily available this second, I have all the time in the world.
It's on Instagram.
Have unlimited tape.
Phone's in airplane mode. You get it.
What is the name of her company?
LLC. And
Did you understand a word he said?
Yeah, I got it.
What? Did you understand what he said?
It was a little fast.
Justin, is the website on here?
Go to the Instagram.
I'm on there.
While Sarah was looking up your website, did you, in fact, post a picture of yourself and these two gentlemen on your website? The answer is either yes or no? Before she looks it up, which she's very good at, you saw the photograph that he wanted to show me. Did you, in fact, put that on your website?
I
Either a yes
did
or
not. No.
Is it on your website?
I have no idea. I don't look at my website.
Justin, stand up, move over. Can I?
It's actually not. It's actually on the Instagram. I took over the Instagram for her because I was posting pictures of all the stuff we staged. I was reaching out to realtors. I was doing all that stuff. So I can show you the whole Instagram, everything.
I'd like to see.
And it has our pictures on there. It even has it at his apartment complex.
Just a
That's where we
second.
took these pictures. Sure.
I don't care what you posted on Instagram. I want to know what she posted on Instagram.
Everything that we posted on there, she knew about because she has access to it.
I don't care whether she had access to it or not, sir. One thing about being on her website, don't come over here.
Oh, sorry. Got excited. That was at his apartment, Your Honor. And then we did this photo shoot like a week later.
Oh, yes, that would be you. So you did photograph yourself in sort of a unfold the arms.
Oh, sorry.
You did, in fact, photograph yourself in a glam shot at your apartment?
Yes, sir.
At your
Yes, ma'am.
apartment?
Excuse me, Your Honor.
With the two of them?
Yes.
And introducing the team. Our best casual team picture. Guess whose brains and guess whose brawn? Tell me that you've never seen that.
I have not seen that, actually. I've seen the picture. I did not see that post.
They didn't Photoshop you into this picture.
No, I sat there, yes.
You sat there, so you know who he is.
Of course I know who he is.
Of course. And you knew that he was working. You knew he was working.
Justin, yes.
No.
Joseph?
The plaintiff. You knew he was working.
We
Why
went
would
to
you-
lunch with him that day. That wasn't a work day.
Oh, no, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Your friend, according to you, paid $2,000 to $3,000 from her. I'm going to split the difference, $2,500. Probably she owed you more if you worked with her, but let's say $2,500. I'm going to split the difference. Did your friend Joseph work with you the entire time you
Absolutely.
worked for her? Shh. Worked for you the entire time. So all the time that you were working, delivering for her, etc., your friend was with you in the truck.
Yes, ma'am. And also, he actually worked with her by herself a couple times, too, when I couldn't work. And I actually brought him in, and she knew I was bringing him in.
Is that 2 times?
What, those two?
Yeah.
Multiple times they would work, and I'd meet them in my own car. He would actually drive the truck, or maybe she would. And I'd met them in my own car a couple times.
Okay. Now, what arrangement? Now, you can sit down for the time being, Justin. Mr. Kendra, what financial arrangement did you have with the defendant?
Yeah.
Because clearly you were there for several months, and clearly there was no money forthcoming to you. Madam, because you don't declare any money from this business that's clearly running cash, you don't think that I think that you worked for nothing for the past 3 years. You don't think that I think that you worked for nothing, because if I was in a business and I didn't earn any money, I would close the business and I would say, this is clearly not for me. So either you're not very smart or not very talented. I haven't figured out which one.
Joseph Kendrew is suing his former boss, Natasha Sanderson, for unpaid wages and business expenses.
What financial arrangement did you have with the defendant? Because clearly you were there for several months, and clearly there was no money forthcoming to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me hear.
The first was a verbal contract.
No. Tell me what it was. Don't delineate as to what it is. That's for
$25
me.
an hour initially, starting for just moving furniture. Our relationship grew, and she wanted me to do financial consulting in addition to that, so the relationship grew. I have access to all their tax returns, their website, the bank, and as it proceeded, she was crying on my shoulder about her temporary financial emergency situation and that Justin wasn't going to get paid. She had just hired another employee or an independent contractor who has a family, responsibilities, and he quit his other job to come work for her on one of her job sites. He was going to leave after a week or two because he wasn't getting paid. It's bigger than just me. There's other people that were relying on her. So for me, I had already put in 230 hours, and I was trying to do the right thing. And if I didn't put in at least a little bit of money to try to finish these contracts, and it's a simple business. You take the furniture that's paid off, you set it up, you bill. For me, I felt trapped, and that was tough. But then I ended this, and this is the hardest part for me, was when we went to her house and we found out that she's neglecting and abusing a dog that was left in a cage all day, every day. And Justin will tell you, at that point, I said enough is enough, and I severed the relationship.
I want to see what expenses you paid for the business.
Yes, ma'am.
And I did find her LLC. It was filed in 2020. And
When was the last time she filed tax returns? Do you know?
Under the FEI or the EIN number, it says applied for, but there's no date or EIN number, so I'm not
So
sure.
she never got an EIN number.
According to this, no. It says that the status is active, and it has a document number, but
But she never got a tax identification number.
not according
Did you
to
file
this
tax
website.
returns in March?
I file them every year.
Did you file tax returns by March 15th of this year?
Not this year yet. We filed an extension.
Give me the name of your accountant.
I don't have it readily available right now.
Just a second. Give me the name of your accountant. Get it. It's in your phone.
I don't have it. My business partner has it.
I thought you owned the business yourself. Who are you?
I am Paula Heckenist. I met her doing
Just a
hair and
second.
makeup.
Do you work for her?
Yes.
Stand. Spell your last name.
Heckenast.
First name.
Paula.
When did you start to work for Miss Sanderson and doing what?
About a year ago, she hired my company, City Lights Beauty Agency, to do her hair and makeup for a wedding. And I have been her hair and makeup artist for various events and photo shoots since. And I've been around for all of this nonsense.
I'm curious. So you don't work for her. You do her hair.
And makeup, yes.
And makeup.
Correct.
I have a lot of people that have been doing that job for years. As you see, no one terribly effectively because, look at this.
You can always hire me.
I wouldn't do that on a bet. I want to know how she pays you.
Cash.
How much did she pay you in the last year in cash?
It's about $300 a pop, so maybe $3,000.
Did she 1099 you in January?
No.
Of course not. Now you can sit down.
Okay.
So you don't have a tax ID number so that you can't file tax returns without a tax identification number.
I do have one.
Give it to Sarah.
This page was only updated January 18th of this year, so if it came sometime after that, it's possible.
January 18th of this year. Is that
This
when you
page.
got a tax ID number?
Negative.
Okay.
The date is January 13th of 2021.
Did you file tax returns for 2022?
Yes.
How much did you earn in 2022?
I don't have that information available right now.
Generally, this is your only source of income, is that right?
I don't take a paycheck.
How do you support yourself?
I have alimony.
Do you know that I don't believe you? You do understand that?
I'm telling the truth, Your Honor.
Yeah. You paid Justin August 3rd, $1,400. You paid Justin $1,000. You paid Justin $330. You paid Justin $2,000. That's according to pay request. Now, my question to you, Justin, is 14, 24, 34, 44. She paid you about $5,000. That sound familiar to you?
Yeah, it's better. Yep.
Not 2 or 3.
Right. Okay.
Is that correct?
Plus another $2,000 that he took.
2,000 he took from where?
From a job that he sold. He took the check from the client.
No, it was $1,500 that I did.
Just a second. Was it anything, Justin? In addition to the $5,000, did you take another check from a client?
It was the $1,500 that the stage that I sold, that I called in, I got it all.
And used her furniture
Whatever
for,
it is,
right?
how much an hour were you earning, Justin?
$25 an hour. And Your Honor, there's no way. Oh, sorry.
There's no way what?
I needed his help. I mean, we were doing.
Just a second. I didn't ask you any. You were mistaken as to the amount because according to this is his PayPal request. That's how much it adds up to, $5,000.
Makes sense.
Which you probably owe taxes on, maybe not, if that's your only source of income. You paid Justin $5,000, and Justin says that the plaintiff worked with him on the truck for the entire time. He worked for you, with you, as an independent contractor. These don't do it for me, sir. You understand? But I think that you worked for her. I think she knew you worked for her. I think she knew that that was the team. I think she advertised it. I believe she knew you were working for her.
Joseph Kendrew claims his former boss, Natasha Sanderson, owes for unpaid wages and business expenses he loaned to Natasha.
Now, you paid Justin $5,000, and Justin says that the plaintiff worked with him on the truck for the entire time. He worked for you, with you, as an independent contractor. You were aware of the fact that he worked on the truck with him. He was earning $25 an hour. So for $50 an hour, you were getting a mover and a driver to move your stuff.
Only I didn't hire Joseph.
Well, that certainly is a nice picture of you with the team.
That wasn't us working that day. I wouldn't be dressed in heels or a dress staging a home.
Madam, because you don't declare any money from this business that's clearly running cash, you don't think that I think that you worked for nothing for the past 3 years. You don't think that I think that you worked for nothing, because if I was in a business and I didn't earn any money, I would close the business and I would say, this is clearly not for me. So either you're not very smart or not very talented. I haven't figured out which one. I know that there's a certain lack of honesty about what you're telling me, because you handed this to me as proof that you paid him when this was not for him, it was for his friend.
Your Honor, I can explain it very well.
Then I'm all ears.
Every penny that the business has earned has gone right back into purchasing more furniture, more inventory. I own a box truck. I own a ton of furniture. We can stage up to 19 homes at one time. And all of that
If you're not making any money, I would close the business. If you're not making any money since 2021, I would close the business.
Well, I made it a promise to myself that if I could do this, because my alimony expires from the time I got divorced until 5 years, that I would put every penny back into the business so that I could grow. So that way, when I got to the end of the 5-year period, I could take the paycheck that would be the equivalent of what I was making in my alimony.
Nice. You didn't pay him anything.
We never had an agreement.
Okay, what other expenses did you pay for her?
You have the one sheet, and here's the other. Those are.
Talking about the U-Haul and everything.
Yeah, things like the U-Haul, things, business lunches. I have it even categorized.
She was in the U-Haul.
Here a little easier, but my unpaid labor.
Doesn't do it for me. Doesn't do it for me, Joseph. Your hours do it for me. Working for her does it for me. Going out to a restaurant to arrange for a telemarketing conference doesn't do it for me. Happy hour doesn't do it for me.
I have videos from that day as well.
Out. Out.
What is that?
Kevin, wake up. I put her out.
This way, please.
Okay.
These don't do it for me, sir. You understand? But I think that you worked for her. I think she knew you worked for her. I think she knew that that was the team. I think she advertised it. I think she certainly knew that you were with Justin on the truck, because it's hard to park and move. In any event, I believe she knew you were working for her. I also believe that the defendant is a little bit slippery.
He's a handyman. He owns his own business.
Mm-hmm. Did he work for you for a while?
He never worked for me. He was hired by the homeowners.
What homeowners?
The homeowners of the homes that needed work on them.
I think you're slick. When does your alimony stop?
3 more years.
Oh, well, so you're going to go 3 more years without drawing any money from this company? That's a real problem. Who's your partner? Is he a financial partner or is he a working partner?
He's a silent partner.
He's a silent partner because?
He put in money in the beginning.
How much did you put in?
I did not put any in.
How much of the LLC do you own?
I own 75%, he owns 25%.
Yeah, good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. We're finished here. Thank you very much. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
The judge was hard on me.
The cases are real, the people are real, and the rulings are final. It's great.
If that's the way it ends, that's the way it ends.
I mean, this is a good start.
He was never hired.
Pay your bills.
He was happy working for me. I don't know. I couldn't really tell you.
Take care of people.
I never authorized any of those expenses.
You do the right things, and that's all this is.
He kept showing up to work.
What else is she going to say?
We're not friends, and he keeps contacting my friends and my family.
She's slippery.
He's extorting me.
It's laughable. What do I think about it? I mean, countersuing, extortion. It'll get handled in court.
He's telling them to pay them $30,000 and he'll be quiet.
Meaning, we clearly work for her. Why do I can show you all her tax returns. She has me on the truck. She had me doing financial consulting. She has nothing. There's no other evidence. There's no other answer she could possibly give than to just deny that.
He's saying that he can go to the IRS on me.
And at the end of the day, we were just trying to do the best we could to help her business.
I wish I never had him around.
Pay your bills, do the right things, and I'm glad part of this is behind me.
You know, I sort of got the feeling that they were three slicksters. Mm-hmm. But there is no question that the plaintiff did, in fact, work for her, worked for her with Justin. Mm-hmm. She clearly knew that he was working with Justin. Mm-hmm. He's not a charity. Yep. Of the three of them, I think she's slicker than those two brains maybe put together.
And on paper, maybe we thought it was all three of them, but by the end of it, the plaintiff and his witness seemed more credible, but more outraged by what she was doing to not only them and their other employees, but also this kind of dog that was in the mix. I think that was they most offended by their treatment of that, by her treatment of the animal. But I did think they were credible. He obviously did the work. I agreed with you about, you know, some of the dinners, things are a little slippery there, but he admitted to that. He said, okay, fine. And he just let that point go. And he just wanted what he was owed for his labor, which I think he was 100% entitled to.
Right. Case 3167, Paley versus Moore. All parties, please come forward.
Cameron Paley is suing her former friend, Ashlyn Moore, for bail money she loaned to Ashlyn.
Ms. Paley, it is your claim that the defendant owes you $600, which was half the amount of bail that you paid for her when she was arrested for speeding. And during the course of this traffic stop, drugs were found in the car on her possession. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And this happened when?
This happened on August 1st around 9:45 a.m.
And you were going where?
We were headed to see my friend Kendra in Gulf Shores.
Who was driving?
Ashlyn.
Whose car?
A rental truck.
And you were stopped on August 1st for speeding?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you issued a citation for speeding.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pay the citation?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you were stopped for speeding, did the police conduct a search?
Yes, after he had told me that he smelled some marijuana on us, and he waited about 15 minutes till he could get his dog.
Did he order you out of the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody?
I was pulled out about 10 to 15 minutes before they were.
You were pulled out first?
Yes.
And searched first?
Mm-hmm. We had a verbal agreement that if I took the blame for everything, that she would pay half of my bail.
If they found one joint in your pocketbook, they would have arrested you. And you were smoking and driving at the same time. So what was there to take blame for? But you could have killed them and other people too. That was foolish.
Cameron Paley claims her former friend, Ashlyn Moore, is responsible for bail money she loaned to Ashlyn.
Now, was the marijuana found on your possession? That's is not an answer. You've been very crisp so far. So was the marijuana found on your person?
No, ma'am.
Where was it?
It was in the truck.
Where in the truck?
I believe it was in my bag and also in the center console.
Just a second. What bag?
My purse.
It's not your claim that anybody, but you put it in your purse. No, so it was yours. Now, were you searched?
Yes.
Was anything found on you?
No, ma'am.
Was anything found in your purse?
No, Your Honor.
Was your witness searched?
Yes.
Was anything found on her person? Was anything found in her purse?
No, ma'am.
So the only marijuana that was found in Miss Moore's purse and in the console of the car?
Yes.
Is that the middle console
Yes,
or the
ma'am.
side? The middle console. So you were taken into custody because in the state that you were driving through, marijuana is not legal.
Yes, Your Honor.
A plaintiff says that your bail was $1,200 and that she went to the bank and took out the money and bailed you out.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you paid her back $600 of the $1,200. So tell me why you don't owe her the rest.
So when we were pulled over initially, when we first saw the flashing lights, Cameron was very hysterical in the front seat. She started spraying perfume, like trying to roll the windows down, turn the air on, airing everything out as
Just a
one
second.
would.
The only reason you do that is because you've been smoking marijuana, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And was everybody smoking marijuana?
Yes.
Including you.
Yes.
But you were driving.
Yes.
Well, that's actually no different from having a bottle of Tito's and drinking while you're driving. Is that your mother?
Yes, Your Honor.
Of course it's your mother. It's one face. What did your mother say to you when you told her this story?
She was very disappointed on us, obviously.
Did she tell you how dangerous she thought it was for you to be smoking grass while you were driving a car?
Yes, she did.
And that it's your fault?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, your car, your speed, your marijuana. Your
Yes, Your Honor.
marijuana. Now, you have 30 seconds to tell me why you don't owe her the other $600.
We had a verbal agreement that if I took the blame for everything, that she would pay half of my bail.
Well, you were to blame for everything.
If I took blame for everything that was in the car.
It doesn't matter whether you took blame for anything that was in the car or not. If they found one joint in your pocketbook, they would have arrested you. And you were smoking and driving at the same time. So what was there to take blame for? I mean, the fact that these two idiots were smoking too, it seems ridiculous. But you could have killed them and other people too. That was foolish. She says, Miss Paley, that you had an agreement with her, which if you did, I'm prepared to enforce, that you would pay for half the bail.
That is not true, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, then why don't you tell me how it came about that you paid the bail?
Okay, so once she got arrested, I was freaking out. We went to Walmart.
How did you get to Walmart?
Taryn drove the rental truck.
So she was smoking with everybody else.
We had not smoked that day yet, I do not believe.
You mean the police officer smelled it on your clothes? Well, that's possible. Unlikely, but possible. Okay, so she drove a little bit high to Walmart. And?
I was on the phone with her sister and her sister's boyfriend. I believe her mom was there, and they were basically pressuring me.
No. Did you speak to her mother?
I did not.
Okay, so you can't tell me what anybody else said to you on the phone. Okay. Now, I want you to tell me what arrangement you had with her, or she can tell me if you don't think that you had any arrangement with her to pay half the bail.
We did not have any arrangement to pay half the bail.
Okay, now let's have it, Miss Moore. Tell me when it happened, who was on the phone, was it in person or not? Let me hear.
It was in person. As we were getting pulled over, we knew that we were going to get searched. Whenever he walked up to the car to take my license and registration, he stepped back and was waiting about 10 minutes until he got his backup driver and the drug dog to search the car. As we were saying that, I stated, he's going to find something. Obviously, we have stuff in this truck. He's going to find it. And we all agreed, yes.
No. That's conclusion.
Okay.
I said to her, while you were all panicked, because the cop pulling you over for speeding, and you know you're going to get searched, and you're the driver of the car. And if you hadn't been smoking that day, well, which I don't believe, then you wouldn't really worry about the smell of marijuana in the car. So I want to know, as this event is unfolding, you've got lights pulling over, then you're having, by the way, I'm going to take the blame for everything, but you have to promise. Is that what you want me to believe happened? Okay. You have any proof of that to give to me?
No, ma'am. It was a verbal agreement.
Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $600. Your problem. Do you understand? Maybe your mother believes that nonsense, but I don't believe that nonsense, because at the time a cop pulls you over in a car and you know you're speeding and you know you have drugs in the car and you know you're in trouble. What you don't say to the other people in the car is, listen, if I get arrested for all this, we're going to share the bail. That doesn't even go through your mind. So, nice story, nice trick. It never happened. Goodbye. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
I think that it's very upsetting that she didn't believe my story. As it was a true story, I wouldn't have lied.
She lied about the agreement. We did not make any agreement. She did owe me all my money.
It was all of ours.
Her family was trying to pressure me into bailing her out and told me I'd be a bad friend if I did not.
First of all, don't take the blame for everybody's stuff ever, and pick good friends.
Pick better friends.
I have a big problem with all those after interviews. For starters, as a mother, to say your only two pieces of advice for your daughter, who just went through this entire legal proceeding, sat in jail for 12 hours, and your only two pieces of advice to her were never take the blame for everybody and pick better friends. And people are really ignorant, but everybody knows that you should never drive when you're high.
Right.
That is pretty much a blanket, everybody knows that rule.
No excuse for that.
No excuse at all. And I think her parents should probably adjust her priorities and her advice to her daughter to make sure it doesn't happen again.
How about taking the car?
Yeah, or not renting the car for her.
Right. Or that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Case number 3050, Cockrell versus McMurray. All parties, please step forward.
Justin Cockrell is suing his friend, James McMurray III, for damage after a golf cart hit his car.
Mr. Cockrell, it is your claim that owing to the defendant's negligence, your car was dented.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I see a picture of the dent on your car?
Yes.
Yeah, that's serious dent. Okay, let me understand the theory of your case. Mr. McMurray is a friend of yours. I assume you were there as well that day?
Yes, ma'am.
You were all having a pleasant afternoon, having a couple of drinks. Were you watching a sporting event?
We were watching golf.
At whose house were you
At
watching it?
Bubba's house.
Your house?
Yes, ma'am.
How many people had golf carts?
2. I drove my car over there. Everybody else lives in that neighborhood, so they'll drive their golf carts.
And Mr. McMurray, what time did you get to the event?
I got there around 2:30 that afternoon.
And did you bring your golf cart?
I sure did.
You drove your golf cart. On what date was this?
May 21st.
So let me see if I've got the alleged facts right. You wanted to leave at some point. You went outside and found that somebody's golf cart was blocking your golf cart
That's correct, Your Honor.
in the driveway.
Yes, that is correct.
The keys, I assume, were in the golf cart,
That's correct, Your Honor.
the one that was blocking your golf cart. So you moved that golf cart in order to get your car out.
That's correct.
Mr. Cockrell says that when you moved that golf cart, you moved it and left it negligently, so that golf cart rolled down the driveway and hit his car, causing this damage. I can't go grocery shopping anymore.
His friend, James McMurray III, owes for car damage after a golf cart rolled into his vehicle.
Is that the theory of your case?
That's correct, yes, ma'am. The golf carts were actually in the garage. I had parked parallel to the garage, so when the cart rolled, it rolled out of the garage and into the side of my car.
Okay. And you, Mr. McMurray, don't deny the fact that you moved somebody else's golf cart,
That's correct.
and you don't deny that that golf cart that you moved caused the damage to his car.
When I got back to the scene, the cart had hit the car.
So those are acknowledged facts. You moved the golf cart. As far as we know, you were the last person that touched that golf cart. That golf cart caused this damage, and he wants you to be responsible. So now, with those agreed facts, which really makes my life so much easier, I want you to tell me why it's not your fault.
Your Honor, when I moved the golf cart, it was blocking my cart. So I moved it to the left of mine. So when I put the brake on the golf cart and walked behind the golf cart to get back to my cart that was right next to it, and I backed up, took my time, making sure I didn't hit the car in my golf cart,
I turn around and I head to my house.
About what time was that?
I'd probably been there 45 minutes, so 3:15.
And you went home to do what?
I went to go home to take care of my dog.
What did you have to do to take care of
I
your
needed
dog?
to let him outside to use the restroom.
Did you?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what did you do? Then you came back to the house?
Then I came back
to the house?
Yes.
So would you say you were gone 10 minutes?
Yes.
So now you're gone 10 minutes. Just let the dog out. Now you're gone 10 minutes and you come out and you find that the golf cart that you moved, without anybody's permission, by the way, you didn't ask the owner of that golf
No,
cart
I did
if you
not.
could touch it.
The keys were in it.
Well, if the keys are in a car, sir, and you pull up in front of the Piggly Wiggly, and the keys are in a car, but it doesn't belong to you, but the car is sitting right where you want to put your car to put your groceries in, and just because the keys are in the car doesn't mean you can drive it, right?
Right.
So without permission, you got into somebody else's golf cart and moved it. And within 10 minutes, his car is damaged.
That's correct.
So give me a theory, sir, of what happened that you're not responsible for.
Like I said earlier, Judge, I moved the cart, parked it, and I walked behind that cart. If this cart is what they're alleging rolled back on its own, then wouldn't it have hit me when I walked behind it, getting into my cart?
Maybe it needed a nudge from the wind. Maybe it needed something else. But that's not the kind of intervening act, sir, that gets you off the hook.
Well,
doesn't get you off the hook.
okay.
I'm going to give you an example, my favorite example. Many years ago, I tried a case that changed my life to a minute degree forever. You know, you go grocery shopping, you go to big stores, and they always have a place where you put the grocery cart after you finish loading your car, right? Put them here. So this particular case was about a woman who went shopping and she had a big load of groceries and she unloaded the groceries in her car and then do what some irresponsible people do. They just leave the cart there. Cart can roll, cart, can be touched, whatever. And the cart rolled into another car and caused damage. The defendant's defense to that case wasn't her, it was wind, which is an act of God. Wind came and blew the shopping cart into the plaintiff's car. Well, the wind isn't an intervening act, because if the shopping cart had been put into its place, wind, rain, frogs, hail, nothing would have happened to the plaintiff's car. We understand each other?
We do.
That's actually not the punchline of this story, because after all, we're just dealing with a dented car here. After that case aired, because I was doing it in the television courtroom, I was shopping in Publix in Florida, and I unloaded my groceries in the trunk of my car and was going to leave the shopping cart there. And 3 women got out of a car together who had clearly seen that episode and stood there with their arms crossed, waiting to see if I was going to put the shopping cart back where it belonged. So when I say that case changed my life forever, I can't go grocery shopping anymore unless, I don't care where it is, it could be 20 blocks away, but that shopping cart goes where it's supposed to be because somebody's around who's going to take my picture, leaving that cart around, and it's going to humiliate me. So what I'm saying to you is, it's your fault.
It wasn't my golf cart. It wasn't my house.
It wasn't. It was just a second. It wasn't your golf cart, which means you shouldn't have touched it. Which means if you wanted to go home and let your dog out, which you probably should have done a half hour before, then you go inside and say, because you know all these people, whose golf cart is that? It's blocking me in. Can you move it? That's easy. You would do that with a car. You just took it upon yourself to go to touch somebody else's property, and within a millisecond, because nobody else came out and touched that car, you were the last person who touched that golf cart. You were. It caused this damage. Don't make excuses. Accept responsibility. Shouldn't have done it, whether you forgot to put the brake on it or not, because I've driven golf carts. We have them around, and sometimes I forget. It says turn it on, and then you hit the brake, and there are 2 brakes. So I never park it like this. If anything, I park it like this against a tree, so it can't go anyplace. It's your fault.
Well, that brings up
another... It's your fault. May I have the estimate to fix your car,
yes,
please? What year car is this BMW?
It's, 2011.
Judge, can I ask you a question?
No, I don't answer questions. That's one of the delights of this job. I ask questions. I don't answer questions. Nice. 1482, judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
This court is adjourned.
Wasn't my golf cart. I wasn't driving.
Bubba had actually gone outside shortly after Dab left, and he saw it happen.
Whenever I left, I got out of that cart, walked behind it, so wouldn't it have hit me?
I think if he'd done the right thing, owned up to it at the beginning, and said, yeah, let's work it out, but
And it's been a little hairy. We're probably gonna work it out.
we'll be all right, because we'll get past it. I told him that from the beginning. I said, hey, no matter what happens, you know, if you pay me or not, whatever, I'm not gonna let that come in between. We've been friends 15 years, but it's like, dude.
You know, I have been noticing that whenever we go to Publix together, you do park extremely close to the cart return now. So,
Not to the entrance.
No, the cart return is the place to be.
Now you know why.
Now I know why.